Hello and welcome. Shut the fuck up.
The Interstellar Tennis Podcast.
It's all being cut. Check. Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the Interstellar Tennis Podcast. I'm your host, Carter Vail, and there's going to be a long intro, so you're just going to have to sit tight.
Is there a theme song?
Don't talk during the intro. You can't talk during the intro. Today we have my roommate of about 4 years.
It is? Wow.
About four. Please don't talk during the intro. Today we have my roommate of about 4 years, and bandmate of about 6 or 7 years, and a dear friend, Mr. Andre Bernier. You can find him on Instagram at Andre Bernier Music, and his email is andre@gmail.com.
Yeah, just shoot me whatever. Send me whatever messages you feel. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on. How was your work day?
I didn't do much work today because
No?
it's been a busy weekend, and therefore today was a day off.
That's good.
It is.
I feel like you're not good at taking... I don't just feel like it. I know you're not good at taking days off.
I'm not good at taking days off. It's pretty much I wait until I'm at burnout, and then I burn out for a day.
Andre burning the candle at both ends.
It's in there.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. And today I was gonna not do an episode of the podcast, but then I was like, well, the whole point of the podcast, I think, is to not is to do stuff super easily and then to not prepare at all. And so we're not prepared at all for this episode of the podcast. I don't have a single question to ask Andre. But yeah, I'm glad you're here.
No, it's good to be here. Have you told the people that this is not the first podcast venture that has been started?
It's not.
Is the other one still up?
Yeah, I think so.
It's still up.
Actually, it's worth finding out. We had a podcast back in Nashville called the Happy Camper Recording Podcast, and that didn't really go anywhere. Why do you think that one didn't work?
I think, there was 4 people in a room doing that one, but I think the main thing is I guess the end of that thought would be 4 people is a lot of people for a podcast. I don't really know many podcasts with 4 hosts of it. I listen to a lot with 2. With 2
Yeah.
or with 3. A fair amount of like Pod Save America, But I don't know, 4 is kind of chaotic. And then on top of 4 voices, we added instruments for every episode. So we would like make a theme song every episode. And
Did we really?
Yeah, we did, man. You go back and listen to them.
Oh, I don't remember that. That's so weird.
I would say they're funny, but that's an overstatement. They're there.
Did we record from the
That's right.
instruments at the studio?
That's right. That was the whole point. So it was the Happy Camper podcast, and we were Happy Camper Studio. So we'd be downstairs in the studio with just so much gear running.
Just truly way too much stuff. I remember we had a couple of like what I think was pretty good bits for that show.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I feel like I'm still trying to come up with like what the bit is for this show. Yeah. And I don't really know what to do necessarily. Because I do feel like it needs like a thing.
Yeah.
And so far I've just been like, here we are on camera, on mic, and talking about anything.
Well, I mean, I think, with podcasts, what I love because I listen to podcasts mostly. I think it's a thing of being in the music industry. I don't listen to music to relax, like pretty much ever. And if I do, it's something that I have no stake in professionally playing. Like I'll listen to like Bach or something. I'll listen to like classical.
It's fucking lame because you suck.
It's super cool, man.
It's super
it's
sick.
Okay. It's great. It's great is what it is. And no, I mean, I just think like with podcasts, you're coming mainly for the personality, and then whatever the activity is that people have managed to shoehorn into it as like the focal point is almost an aside. All these whatever political podcasts I listen to, like this
podcast.
We found a direction. That's me.
By Jove, we've got it.
We found it. But
okay, I get that like the whole podcasting thing is like come up with like a topic and then just fucking bullshit for the rest of the time.
I think that's right.
But I don't think I have a topic yet.
I don't think you need one.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. As long as there's no like 15 to 20 second pauses of dead silence.
Well, we're just gonna cut those out.
No, we're not, man.
We can't. I also found, when I was editing the first 3,
Yeah.
especially once I got the double camera thing, I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And I had to like watch it 4 times speed because it's like, 30 minutes of watching myself talk is a fucking nightmare. But yeah, I still want I want this base. I think the first 10 episodes of the podcast is just going to be me asking what my podcast should be about.
I like that. I think that's
kind of fun.
It's kind of that could be the bit for the podcast. It's just workshopping what your podcast should be.
I think that's a good idea. Every episode, it starts out with just what do I do for my podcast?
It's important. That's good.
I also kind of feel we're commentators right now. Do you get that feeling?
Well, that's why I think most people have something to commentate on in the podcast. I mean, that's all the political stuff I listen to is they're like, let's play this news clip. And then they play the news clip and they're like,
and then there's something direct to talk about.
Yeah, they have a take.
I think the alternative is just me preparing some kind of question, some line of questioning for a topic. But no, that's not what we're doing here.
No, certainly not. And why would we?
Why the fuck would we, dude? We've been living together for 4 years. You
4
think I need
years.
fucking topics?
That's
I know everything about you.
It's true.
Actually, but speaking of which, what is something I don't know about you?
Oh my gosh.
Is there anything?
I don't even know, man. I mean, I've lived with you longest now.
Really?
Yeah, out of anybody, because I only lived with my roommates in college for 3 years, and then.
Oh yeah, you didn't live with Garrett.
Well, no.
Before.
No, but then even with Garrett and Reed, we lived together for 3 years,
right?
And then we made the move. So.
The only people that you've lived with longer is your family.
It's true.
And friends
That's
are
true.
the family you choose. Stop. Stop.
It might sound like the mic's malfunctioning.
It's not. It's the mics are fantastic. It's Andre.
It's a shock collar.
Wait, I wonder if this is going to be if I flip it the other way. Stop. Oh, that's way better. Look at this. It looks so much nicer now.
Yeah, it's great.
Is the cable's probably bad,
Of
isn't it?
course it's.
All right. Entertain the folks. I'm getting a new cable.
Oh man.
2 mics. You have to hold both.
This is. Oh, I'm getting phased. That's kind of crazy. I'm gonna do a little commercial while he's gone because we were talking about this as we were setting up. This is the first time that we're using the Volt interface. It's called the Volt. Yeah. Is it called the Volt?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just make it up.
Yeah. This is the first time we were using the Volt interface, and they have some amazing settings on here for vocals, which is amazing. This is the new interface from Universal Audio, and they have a compressor on the thing itself. So I just turned off the compressor and I turned off the vintage button. Check out the vintage button. You ready for this? Here's me talking normally, and then here's me with the vintage button. See how it broadens up that bottom end? That's great, right? Here's it off. Off right now. I'm talking. You hear a little bit more of the room, and then the vintage button brings the voice more directly on. It's like a broadcast feature. It's great. Now check this out. We got the 76 compressor. We're doing vocal, dude. I'm excited about this. I don't think you understand. You were upstairs and I was doing this with nothing recording before. I love this. Look at this. Here we go.
What were you saying when you were recording or before you?
I was just saying test. Do you remember walking around upstairs and hearing me just go test? But here we go. Here's the 76 compressor. There's the 76 compressor. You see how direct that is? That's unbelievable. My goodness, I'm close up right now. Here, we're gonna turn it off again. Here we go. Okay, it's off again, right? Still very good. Now that we have that vintage button on, vintage off, vintage on, right? 76 coming on, right there. Look at that. Look at how forward that is. This thing's unbelievable. There's 4 inputs on this. We've been very impressed with it. Right here.
Swapperoo. Actually,
I'm gonna give you yours back.
This is a really professional podcast.
It sounds professional.
It sounds good.
It's more than half the battle.
Can you say something here?
Testing.
Oh, beautiful.
There we are.
When I started, when I did the first episode of my podcast, I posted it and I didn't have any plan for it, similar to this one.
Yeah.
And I showed it to my brother. I might have already told you this, but I showed it to my brother, or my brother came back home to Connecticut. I was visiting my family. My family lived in Connecticut. We've been living in Connecticut for... I showed it to my brother, and he was like, it sounds really good.
Yeah.
The audio quality is really good.
Yeah.
And then he was like, the content is really bad.
The content can get better, baby.
Well, that's the thing. The content is ever shifting.
Yeah.
I noticed that you were on vocal and we're on vintage.
Yeah.
You think that's good for podcast?
You
quality?
A-B it. You tell me.
Okay.
You tell me.
Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. 1, 2. Yeah, it's a little warmer maybe.
It's a little warmer. It brings up the bottom end, kind of smushes it
Brings
up.
up the bottom end.
And then if you turn it off, you actually hear more of the room. So keep talking.
Check, check. 1, 2. Check, check. 1, 2. I like it more. I like it
It's
more.
good with the
on.
vintage button. And then with the compressor, it brings it right here. It's great. There's 3 settings on the compressor. I haven't checked out guitar or fast, but we're using the vocal setting, and it's amazing.
I hear if you put it to fast, you actually just turn into Jack Stratton, and you have to play super fast funk for the rest
That
of your
makes
life.
sense. It's more of a,
It's kind of like if the bus slows down below 40 miles per hour, it explodes.
The movie Speed?
Yeah, it's the movie Speed. You know what I'm talking about.
Do I know? Let me tell you a story about the movie Speed. I have a story about this.
Okay.
It was the Olympics in probably 2004. I don't know the year, right? I'm young. I'm probably 11.
Okay.
Whatever the Olympics for the summer, around when we were like 11.
Okay, so 2014?
No. Maybe no. The 2012. No, it would have been before
2012.
that.
Yeah, it would have been the 2012.
It would have been
Olympics.
before that. It would have been 2008, 2004. Right?
2004 Olympics. You're 7.
That's what I was. I was 7
years old.
Because I snuck downstairs to watch the Olympics. Only my parents changed the channel from the Olympics to the movie Speed. And I watched the entirety of the movie Speed, a movie I was too young to watch.
Is it scary?
No, it's just kind of, if the bus slows down.
And you notoriously rode on a lot of buses. You were a child. You were out there riding on buses, and you were like, y'all better not fucking slow down right now.
Yeah, I'd get on. I'd say, go to 80 and don't slow down. Famously.
You tell the bus driver go to 80, because if they don't hit 80, they're fine. It's fine. It's basically
That's
like,
right.
And a
That's
bus
right.
should never hit 80.
But as soon as it hits 80, it's a DeLorean situation.
Well, why did we start talking about speed?
I don't remember. Oh, you said fast compressor, and then it has to go fast.
If Jack Stratton ever slows down below 220 BPM, I heard he gets audited.
It's such a real world consequence.
I know, he just gets fucking audited.
That's not a fun one.
No, there's an IRS agent constantly waiting at every Wolfpack show.
That explains a lot, actually. That makes
the
sense.
panic in their eyes.
Oh my gosh,
Andre, what gear are you excited about right now? You're a pretty big gear guy.
Don't do this. I do love gear. I'm a big believer that, and actually we've had this debate many times, you and I. I'm a big believer that gear really matters. And I think it's kind of a thing that people like to say, where they say, oh, gear doesn't matter, it's the player. And that's true insofar as if you don't know how to play your instrument, you're dead in the water.
Yeah.
But everybody can play their instrument. So you need to have good gear as well. And that's going to let you stand out as opposed to other people. So to answer your question, what gear I'm excited about, I've been looking at a lot of bass amp stuff recently that I don't need. And
You more since the one you purchased?
Yeah.
Talk about the one. What did you just recently purchase?
I got an Ampeg Rocket Bass, and it's great. The Ampeg Rocket Bass is a new thing from Ampeg, who were recently acquired by Yamaha, and I like that because Yamaha does very good work. Everything's very dependable from Yamaha.
That's
You can
true.
buy anything from Yamaha, piano, motorcycle, acoustic
fucking
guitar,
crazy.
it's going to work amazing.
I know they are good at making the quality of production is really good.
Right, and drum sets too. That's what Garrett brings on the road.
I think is my drum kit at Yamaha?
I don't know. Actually, it might be a Tama.
It might be a Tama.
It might be a Tama.
Yeah, I think Yamaha is good. I would love to get a new drum kit. I think.
Yeah.
But I think if I was going to get a new drum kit, I'd probably do like a Pearl, or like what's the one that Garrett has in that he had the Slingerland.
Well, look,
Oh.
if you can,
If you
get a
fucking
Slingerland.
if you can sling, baby.
If you can sling.
If you can sling, you're gonna land.
I would say, with drum sets, I think before you go and replace it, next time Garrett's out here in LA, we're talking about Garrett Frakel, by the way, who's just a phenomenal drummer. And Garrett Frakel does the drums on a lot of Carter's music and on a lot of my music as well, and just is a phenomenal drummer out in Nashville, Tennessee. And he does remote recording, so hit him up if you need anything.
Fuck that dude. Dude, I heard some shit he said about you.
Oh, yeah? No, he's allowed to. He gets a pass.
Oh.
No, he can say whatever he wants.
The things that he's fucking seen. Yeah, I know he's a great drummer.
But I would say have him tune your drums first before getting new ones. Because I really do think, like, when it comes to acquiring new gear is all well and good, but oftentimes tweaking the gear that you have, whether it's a guitar or a bass that you have that you think is like, oh, I need a better one. It's like, well, have you gotten it set up?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, but that kind of goes against the gear matters thing. And
Well,
like the drum kit that I
it set up, then
no,
you
but
need a new one.
My fucking drum kit is is
Cobbled.
probably $100 total.
But a good drummer owned it before you, right?
Reed. Reed?
I thought it was Hewlett.
No, it was Reed Gaines.
Point. Never mind.
A good hey,
Sell that thing.
a good fucking drummer owned it first.
Well, I thought it was Hewlett.
Yeah, it comes from a long line of great drummers. Jesus Christ.
Well,
Fuck you, Reed. If you're watching this, fuck you, dude.
Reed caught an absolute stray on this one.
You didn't have to compliment him. He's good at other stuff. That's on you.
I thought it was Hewlett. See, you bought his cymbals, yeah?
I bought his ride cymbal.
That's what it is.
I want to get new cymbals too. The whole thing
new
is like,
cymbals you got to get.
I know look how I'm clipping so hard because I keep fucking screaming into the mic.
See, okay, I have this podcast I listen to. One of the guys is always laughing, and whenever he laughs, the other guy goes, "Mic down." And so
they go.
Yeah, and it kind of makes my life. When I hear he's a stand-up comedian and he laughs often, and whenever he laughs, he pulls the mic away, so you just hear his laughter throughout the room.
Oh, that's good.
And it gives me life. So I'm trying to do the same so that we don't overload it. But I've overloaded it a couple times.
I mean, you know what they say.
What do they say?
If the laughing is clipping,
Uh-huh.
the customers are tipping.
Sounds right.
We should get tipped more.
We should get tipped more.
Do you get tipped when you're playing like a corporate gig? Is
Yeah,
there
occasionally.
tips? Really?
Occasionally. It's lit. When that happens, because like weddings a lot too, especially if like the father of the bride really likes you and they'll just be like, here you go. But there's also a rule that if you're playing a set and you're like, all right, 10 o'clock, that's our curfew, thank you. If they want you to do another hour, it's $100 to everybody in the band, cash in hand before you play.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
it has to be cash?
It has to be cash. Or Venmo now. Venmo
It's
now.
got to be cash.
Well, because
it's a fucking mob thing.
It's just, it can't be like oh yeah, we'll write you a check after. No.
Yeah,
before we do this, you know.
Because that's a good way to do it. I actually heard of another rule from corporate gigs.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that if the laughter's clipping, keep on tipping.
Keep on tipping. You know, it does feel like a real rule. That feels like a.
It does seem
good,
there is a name I know for something that if it rhymes, people are willing to accept that it's true.
That's got to be an advertising thing, right?
I think it's probably an advertising thing, but there is like a law of like, it's like not Murphy's Law, but it's something that sounds like, it's like Murphy's Law.
It's
of
Murphy's
like,
Law.
Yeah, people can be convinced if you rhyme something,
Right.
people will be like, well, then it's a fucking fact.
Here's something.
Go for it.
I think a lot of advertising has just got to be pseudoscience. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like a lot of it.
Oh my God.
A ton of it. Because I think a lot of people in advertising are like, I'm not going to say they're basically just justifying their position to have it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, we've talked about this
Yeah, we've
before.
talked about that. Like,
I probably can't say anything
sure
about
you
it.
can. Sure you can.
No
Be
one's
brave.
going to fucking listen to this.
Dig deep.
I
It's
think-
episode 6?
It's episode 4.
Episode 4. Episode 4, we're getting into it.
This is the one that blows up.
It's getting real.
I think, man, advertising nowadays is a fucking scam.
You said it.
It's like, I feel like so many advertising agencies are just like hiring. They're like, the whole job of a lot of these agencies is be like, I found someone on TikTok.
Right.
And then email them.
Right.
And it's like the middleman for a fucking 14-year-old on TikTok.
Right.
I'm the 14-year-old on TikTok in this scenario.
It's also like there's like a dude, there's a dude clearing like north of $70K a year.
I know.
Who's going to come into a place with like, like a TikTok star and be like, so we're thinking we want it to go viral.
Yeah.
Is that the idea? Is that what you have? It's like coming to me and being like, I want you to write a hit song. Why don't you write a hit one?
Oh.
Cool.
Yeah.
As opposed to what everybody else is trying to do.
They're all trying to write fucking stupid
Right,
shit. But
yeah.
you wanted a hit. I'm sorry.
TikTok content that goes viral. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, I find it's so fucking frustrating. I mean, honestly, the people that I've worked with so far have been fucking so nice.
Yeah.
But I have been on a couple calls with like people that I don't end up working with where they're like, I don't know, it just feels so weirdly businessy. And like, I don't know, it feels like they're coming to me like they have a fucking idea.
Yeah.
And then inevitably it's just like, you don't have a fucking idea for this. And you're just like trying to present like you're like this big creative. And meanwhile, the whole thing is like, can you make a song for us?
Right.
And it's like, yeah,
yes,
but fuck off.
But let me do the creative stuff
Yeah.
because I'm the creative, and that's the line.
I'm the creative. Me.
And then you yell until they shut off the Zoom.
They turn off the Zoom.
That's the key.
And I don't get the gig.
That's
and
key.
now I have 3 roommates. So that's
And we like it that way.
we do.
We gotta,
Would you live solo if you?
No, man.
You don't think so?
Well, yeah, here's the thing about me is I'm an introvert. You know this about
Yeah.
me. I really need time alone to recharge. But that means if I live alone, I will never see anyone ever again.
Yeah.
I need people kind of in my vicinity that when I come downstairs, like they're already here to be like, oh, hey, man. And I'm like,
Thank God.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's good for me because if it's just like, oh man, like let's go to this party, like that's exhausting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll do it. I like doing it. I like going to shows and stuff too. But
Right.
That's hard.
I too am a big house hanger.
But you would live alone. I know you would.
No, I wouldn't.
Really?
No way. I love having fucking
Works out.
roommates.
That's why we've been roommates
That's
for 4 years and going on 50.
Going on
50 years.
4 on 50. I know you. You were my roommate for 50 years.
Oh, hello on Netflix.
Such a good.
So good.
So good. No, I don't think I would live alone. It just doesn't sound fun. Like,
I agree.
So much of the fun I have in the day is like when I'm in my room.
Yep.
And I hear people talking outside, and I'm like, "Oops!" And then I sneak
did that today.
downstairs. I know.
I
had 2 more minutes left on my clock for working.
Yep.
And I was like, "Well, I got to come down."
I know.
People are talking in the kitchen.
That's it, man. Well, it's also
The
great.
best.
I always say like our this friend group especially, and I think a lot of people's friend group are proximity planners. That's the term I use for it.
What does that mean?
It means we're not going to be like, next Thursday, how about we go bowling? That's never
Right.
going to happen. But if it's 4 p.m. and we're all down here cooking dinner or something, just be like, you guys want to go bowling right now?
Yeah, that could happen.
And that's the kind of thing that I think like real adulthood is planning. And I don't like planning that much. So just
fucking lame.
Exactly. Being around people that do it is...
I also find I wish I wasn't like this because I don't feel like I feel like a lot of people our age are probably like this,
Mm-hmm.
but I find anytime I'm inviting someone to something, I feel like I'm imposing,
Yep.
and I get like, fuck, I don't want to hit up this person because it's like, they don't want to do it.
I feel that same way.
I know, but it's like that's so dumb because when someone texts me and they're like, hey, do you want to go do this? I'm like, yes.
I agree.
I'm like, yes.
I agree fully. Also,
It's so fun.
I've been having a thing with restaurants recently where I'm like, I know
Where you just don't tip
if
because they're left.
I
the
always
laughing
tip.
and clipping.
Look, I always because the laughing and clipping. No, man, I always tip. I am big on that. 20% is minimum now. That is the minimum. But
Lying.
I'm
So
not
weird.
lying.
It's a bit.
Unbelievable.
He tips 5%.
Unbelievable. I would never do that. I would never do that. This is slander. Good people of the internet.
I'm going to start opening every podcast with "Welcome to the Interstellar Tennis Championship." Andre tips 5% at restaurants.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I don't know.
You have a thing with restaurants.
I have a thing with... Oh, right. Okay. If I look up, like, restaurants near me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone's like, let's pick a place to go, And you're picking a restaurant. Like, if I pick it, it's going to be bad. I don't know how. But everyone that I pick that I haven't gone to before, I'm like, let's try this one. I bring people, and then I'm like...
And then the whole time you're like kind of sweating because you're like, this didn't work.
Absolutely. And if someone else is like, do you want to come to this restaurant? I'm like, yes. And it's always amazing.
Yeah.
So I've learned to really be, I'm a backseat driver now with, or no, that's not the term. I'm a passenger with restaurants.
I mean, I can understand. I'm just turning off Bluetooth. I can understand that. It's a lot of pressure, but also, I feel like when I go out to maybe with other people are different,
Mm-hmm.
but like if I'm out to dinner with friends, maybe this is because I can't taste anything. I so don't give a shit.
Have you
about
told
the
people
food.
about that? Do people know about this?
I don't know, but also I wonder if there's an issue with branding because I rep so much food stuff, and then being like, by the way, I can't fucking taste anything.
It doesn't make a difference to...
Try this shit. I could be fucking terrible.
You know that's not true.
Yeah, no,
you know the difference.
No, yeah, I can. The thing is, dear listener, I have a really light sense of taste compared to. I mean, actually, there's no way for me to tell.
That's a good point.
Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm just dumb. No, I have a really not good sense of taste, and so the idea of going to a restaurant and it being bad and me not liking it because of that is just kind of like,
Yeah.
Although I guess if the portions are really small, I would get bent out of shape.
I got angry about that sushi place that I went to last weekend.
Do you want to throw the name out?
No,
there?
I don't know the name.
You can't.
Which is actually good.
That's good.
Yeah, someplace in Studio City, but it was.
Fucking Studio City, dude.
I'm sure there's great sushi restaurants. I'm
Studio
positive.
City, full of what?
Great sushi restaurants.
I was wondering what you were gonna say.
Yeah, me too, man. That's wild.
Dude,
That's a wild. Oh my gosh! And I have a mic. This is
I know, but just in case.
double. This is so spooky. No, it was just like the purity of food is great. It's awesome. Like the purity of like this is the best fish you've ever had is great.
Yeah.
But if it's like 2 pieces per thing, we're never gonna get to the finish line on that.
I know.
You
And
know?
each one's like $20.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I try to go out to Zoom camera 1. I try to go out to dinner at sushi. I don't want to have anything important to say. I try to go out to dinner at sushi with my wonderful significant other, Isabella Engler.
Shout out to Sable.
Shouts out Sable. And I can't do it, dude.
I got one for you. Sushi place around here, Akuma.
Kombu?
Akuma.
Akuma, not Kombu?
What's kombu?
Kombu's also around here. I heard the K and I assumed we were talking about the same place.
No,
Akuma.
It's in West Hollywood, and the portions are good.
They're good?
And that's what's shocking. Like
How much per roll? I'm trying to get a fucking dragon roll. How much is it? 6 pieces.
it's probably 18 to 22.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it's sushi, man.
I know, but that's fucking...
Do you want to eat sushi that comes for $11 a roll?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
You know what? Me too. But I don't.
How
think that
good
world
would
is-
that be?
I think that world is.
Spend $100 and fucking just die?
We're talking about 2002 prices. Over
Yeah.
here. This is
We're talking about pre-housing bubble,
pre-housing bubble. Oh, the sushi pre-housing bubble.
post 9/11 pre-housing bubble.
The sushi sweet spot. Oh my gosh! You know, I just found out I'm a millennial. I just found that out. Do you know how earth-shattering that is for me?
You're a millennial. Well,
I was
must
born
be
in
too,
'96. We should look it up. I forget what the exact. Jamie, can you pull that up?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
the exact. The exact year. I found out I'm at like the absolute tail end of being a millennial.
Who is?
I think it's 81 to 96.
Millennial.
Yeah.
Anyone born between 1981 and 1996?
Yeah. What an issue. I thought I was.
I'm not a millennial. I was
Are
born
you
in 97.
serious? See, here's the thing. I feel like I belong to that. What are you? Are you Gen Z? You're not
I'm a
Gen Z.
baby. I have so much time ahead of me. It's
Can you
crazy.
Search Gen
I have
Z?
my
That's
whole
not an answer.
life in front of me.
What generation are you? I'm a baby.
Gen Z.
See, I think you might be Gen Z. What does that mean?
Late 1990s,
Late-
early 2000s. No, that makes sense.
96 isn't late? 97's late.
90s. Yeah, obviously. You as soon as you said it, you knew
I knew,
too, right?
I did, but they didn't define this for me early enough, and so I've never. Well, I guess I act like a millennial as opposed to a Gen Zer.
You are probably the most millennial person that's right on the cutoff of anyone I've ever met.
Which is too bad, because I don't feel like I I don't think the 2008 crash hit me hard enough to be a millennial. You know what I mean? You gotta have like really felt that. I should have been getting out of college in 08 if I'm a millennial.
86, did it say? To 96?
I think 81.
81.
I could
Oh,
be
okay.
wrong.
So, I mean, 2008 housing crisis,
Yeah.
2008 to 86. Is that, did you say? I'm sorry, what?
81.
81.
81.
I said
that's
what
at the
I said
older
again.
end.
So 9, 10, 19 in 2000.
Yeah.
Plus 8. 27 at the 2008 housing
But you're
crisis.
talking about the oldest millennials.
Yeah, the
Most-
oldest millennial.
There's 7 years of like millennials that were like, older than
Yeah.
the 81 millennials that are still being hit immediately post. All I'm
Yeah.
saying is,
Where was our 2008 housing crisis? Is my question.
I got bad news, man.
Is this it?
It's coming.
Oh yeah.
But actually, maybe we could get some real estate at that point, Maybe.
In the 2008 housing crisis,
There's like a whole thing of like the stick poking meme where it's like, come on, do it.
Do the
it's
thing.
it's that, and it's like
Do the roar.
millennials waiting for the housing market to crash, and it's like, come
I-
on, do it.
Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, but I also
Yeah, it'd be sick.
it'd be dope, dude. Dude, that post 9/11 pre 2008 housing market sushi crisis, dude, they ran out of sushi.
A housing crash would be so sick.
It would, man. It wouldn't be good for the American public, but I would love to own a house.
Yeah, owning a house would be awesome.
If you were going to buy a house right now,
Yeah.
where do you think you'd live?
Oh, it's got to be here, man.
You still go Silver Lake?
Oh, Silver Lake.
Oh, but it would be Los Angeles.
It'd be Los Angeles. I mean, I don't know. I've been around a couple different places in LA, but I still feel like I don't have a good handle on it yet because there's
No?
so many different places. I mean, I don't have a good feel for all the different neighborhoods. You know what I mean?
Now that you say it, I think I've actually only been to Silver Lake.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been to Silver Lake and Montecito.
You know, I know some places I don't want to live, but I definitely know.
Say 'em.
I'm not gonna name
Why?
them.
Don't be weird
No,
about
I
it.
just like I don't know. Like it's just something about Redondo is really nice. Being near the water is really nice. Being near, but like all that.
Man,
stuff.
that's Redondo.
Man.
Is Redondo like? Is Redondo?
This has moved to you actively throwing me off, and I love it. I
Me
love
trying
it.
to ruin my own podcast.
No, it's good.
Is Redondo like a Malibu kind of situation? Where
Kind of
it's like
is,
super
but
wealthy.
it's a little. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, therein lies the problem.
Yeah.
I'm not picking up real estate in Redondo no matter what. I mean,
Right.
but it is the kind of thing like it's sort of removed from the bustle of LA. I think that's the thing I find
good.
the most exhausting about being here, as opposed to any of the other places we live. Just for context, Carter and I are both from Connecticut.
So loud. Jesus Christ! Look at the fucking
my
waveform on that bad boy.
Not a 76 compressor in the world that could save us from that.
Jesus Christ! I need the modern shit for that one. Sorry, continue. We're both from Connecticut.
So Carter and I are both from Connecticut, and then we met in Miami. We're going to school at U Miami, and then we lived in Nashville for 3 years, and then now we're here. So although
He was trying to sell me drugs. It was crazy. I went to school there. He just was there.
I was in the jazz program, which feels on brand.
Yeah.
But I don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad.
You're really trying to keep this on the rails, and I keep.
I'm the
We were both
interviewer
from
now.
Connecticut. We met in Miami.
Yes. Okay. This is so. I had to think. It's of all the places that we've lived, this has been easily the most chaotic. There's constantly stuff going on here. There's constantly like, I mean, we live right off like a highway too, so that's like crazy for me. I've never lived right off a highway, and it's good to get places fast, I guess, but traffic is wild here too. But man, the proximity to everything is just unbelievable in LA.
It's nice. I've talked about this before. I mean, I know you have mixed feelings about being so close to the road, but like I really like being in a place where I can come out my door and shit's going on. Like whereas in Nashville that wasn't the case.
I mean like a farmer's market shit's going on. Not like there's a traffic jam in front of my door.
That sucks a little bit. And like that one dude, we have this one guy that parks in front of our house.
He was here today.
I saw him.
He was here today.
I didn't see the pants come off, but I saw the shirt come off.
You could tell him the story.
We have this guy that rolls up in a Mustang. No, is it a Mustang? It is a Mustang.
It's a black Mustang.
Kind of middle-aged guy, maybe 50, 55, maybe almost, not quite 60s.
No, not quite 60s.
Mid-50s. Rolls up in a black Mustang and proceeds to get out of the car, pop the trunk, or pop the hood, and take off all of his clothes and put them down onto the hood, I think to dry them?
His pants, not his shirt. He doesn't
Shirt stays on?
He doesn't get naked.
No, I've seen his dick.
Right, but he doesn't get naked. He Donald Ducks it. He doesn't.
yeah.
He's from the top.
He keeps
up.
it decent.
He keeps it decent. He's a gentleman.
He's not an animal. He's not going to take off his shirt. I saw his fucking penis.
Yeah.
And right off the 101.
Truly, we're at an intersection. We're off the 101. There's always people crossing this bridge to get on the highway.
Yeah.
There is no private. He picks the most public spot
Yeah.
you could possibly stop to change his pants.
Maybe he's like a voyeurist.
Maybe.
Maybe this is like a thing.
That makes truly more sense than any other explanation.
Why is it always the same spot, though?
He's grown fond of it.
I hope not.
I don't think we have any say in it. He's going to that spot. It's very clear.
I want to talk to him at some point, although also he kind of gives me like has a gun vibes.
Yeah, he definitely gives me has a gun vibes. But also, you know,
if you're getting naked on the 101, you have a gun. You fucking have to. Jesus
I
Christ.
think you might. But also, like, I think that's also fair. If I'm changing pants in the middle of the road and someone comes out and says, "Hey, man, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
I think that's fair to give an explanation of it.
And say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. This is the only way I can finish." And then you have to be like, "All right."
You know?
Okay.
You know, he found his happy place, and who am I to say no to that?
You can't.
You can't say no.
Nothing
to that.
about it. I'm gonna first off, I'm gonna go to where we are in this because I just want to make sure nothing crazy is happening with the audio files.
We're at hour 4.
Holy shit! It's hour 4. I am wondering what kind of stuff you're working on right now, Andre.
What am I working on?
Are you working on more Andre Bernier stuff?
I actually have been this past week, which is crazy. I don't know. The songwriting thing is so hard. I have my own music out. It's under my name, Andre Bernier. But since I got to LA, I've also been working on other projects. I have a project called Berlin, which is solo piano, which is my main gig. I'm normally a pianist for other people, including Carter here. And then I also have a lo-fi project, which I've started with our other roommate, Noah, who I'm sure you will meet on this podcast at some point. So I've really been enjoying doing those because those to me are very functional, right? I can have a uninspired day, but still create something worth doing in the instrumental realm.
Okay.
Because the way I think about it, I play piano pretty well. I know my way around that instrument in a way that if I'm not feeling inspired, I can still make a melody that I think someone can hear and go, that's music, that makes sense to me. The problem is everybody speaks English.
Right.
So if I'm not feeling a particular day, songwriting seems kind of out of the question.
Yeah, coming up with lyrics when you're not inspired can be very challenging.
Right, and so many times I will just sit at a computer or with an acoustic. I like to write just on acoustic guitar, even though the stuff isn't the folk by any means. It's like that to me makes more sense than at the DAW nowadays. But there's so many times I'll just sit there and not be able to come up with anything. But that, let me ask you, because you are a person who I've lived with for 4 years now, and even before then in college, we were friends for probably 3 years.
Well, we went to college for 4 years. You can say 4 years. We were friends for 4 years. That's fine.
It was 3. No.
You really were like freshman year.
I didn't really
somewhere
know
in the
guys.
Middle, junior year. We weren't friends.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I was. Oh no, it wasn't freshman year. Yeah, I was taking out junior. No, no, it was but like you write every day, and maybe not for your own project, but even like
the funny stuff.
To be funny is insane to me. To be like, and today I'll be funny and write a funny song. How do you do that?
I don't think. I mean, I feel like. I don't actually like, I guess I don't write something new every day, but I try to like be creative every day. As for like the funny stuff, I don't know if it's like, a lot of the times I feel like people mistake funny for out there. And like a lot of my stuff doesn't have like a punchline. Like I'm not writing jokes. I'm writing like shit that's like, oh, that's weird. Why did he write a song about that?
I would argue, at least the ones that, because obviously I don't remember every TikTok you've ever made, but I do think
that's weird. You should have. We've lived together for 100 years.
I do think I've seen most of them, and
Probably.
the ones that I do think have stayed with me, like they do have, if not a punchline, an active subversion of the expectation, right?
Yeah.
Like the cowboy one.
Yeah.
Is one I always
that's
come
fun.
back to.
I think of that one as like that's a funny one.
It's a great one,
Thank
and
you.
I think I know I'm making you uncomfortable. At
No,
this
I'm
point.
not. I'm great.
Yeah, I'm sick, dude.
Fucking cool.
No, I think that's, but like, yeah, that's like, it's like a superpower to me when people are like, and I'll be funny today. And I feel the same about comedians, man. I really do. That amazes me.
Yeah, I mean, I find being like a comedian, like writing jokes, because like when you're writing funny stuff for TikTok, when you're writing a funny song, I find you can really rely on like the song sounding like a song, and like that is enough of like an expectation subversion. Just being like, this song sounds like a normal song, and then like I'm talking about being a cowboy and how my mom's a cow, or my mom's a boy and my dad's a cow, and it's like
It's a good bit.
But like if you said that joke doesn't come, like that joke doesn't really work.
I think there's a way to phrase that one in particular that might work.
Maybe,
but I would agree
like,
with you.
Okay,
Some
I have
other-
I have another one that goes. It's like, fish still deserve our love, even this guy. Look at this dumbass. And like, you can't say that joke and have it be funny because there's no punchline to that. But in a song, you're expecting a song, and it sounds like a song. But then you look at the words, and it's like, oh, I get it. It's weird. Like that's not normal. And so that I find that that's easier. And honestly, it's like sometimes writing funny stuff can be easier than like writing the serious stuff.
Oh my God, yes.
I find.
Well, it's almost like, I find whether it's lo-fi or anything else, or writing for other people, it's almost easier to write for a character than it is to be like, now what do I think? It's like, oh, what do I think? Oh, I have no idea what I think. But I think a lot of people who are probably listening are people that play music or do music, and like, I think the other thing to note is like, it's not fair to try to be creative all the time.
Right.
That's not a fair thing. So if it's whether it's writing, pretending you're writing for someone else or doing something else like that,
right,
that's a good way to kind of try to subvert that what do I think mentality that like is so difficult to write through.
And that's part of the reason I found like doing the whole headband thing for a long time was really helpful.
Yeah.
Like it was like such a definitive like, okay, when I'm wearing this, I'm in this character.
I'm in character.
And And having like such a definitive line of when I do this, something else is happening. I'm not thinking as like Carter Vail from me.
Yeah.
So that was I thought that was really nice.
Yeah.
But also I there's this really interesting interview with Neil Gaiman, and I can't remember who was interviewing him, but the way he writes books. I don't know if you're familiar with books.
Oh, books. I've heard of books.
Books. The written word.
Books, the album by Neil Gaiman.
Books, yeah. You ever heard books? He writes books that are really good, and they do really well. And actually, in our bookcase, we have a couple of his books. Books.
What would you say the genre is?
The book that it's fiction.
Okay.
And one of my favorite is American Gods by him. And it's just, it's good storytelling. It's just really good storytelling.
Yeah.
But the way he writes, he says, is he'll go to the place that he writes at, which I think is like a gazebo kind of thing.
Nice.
And he is allowed to not write. But he can't do anything except for writing. So
like that.
You can either be writing or doing nothing.
I like that.
There's no checking the phone. There's no sending emails. It's either sit there or write. And like that's, I think, you can't expect yourself to be creative every day and like come up with something good, but you can expect yourself to sit down and attempt it every day.
Correct. Well, that's why I like about piano.
Yeah.
Because that's easy to like. Okay, I can run scales. Oh, I don't feel creative? Great. I can it's buttons. It's a mechanical machine, But something else you do that's kind of like the gazebo thing, which I've always admired.
I build gazebos.
You build gazebo. He builds gazebos.
Like
CartersGazebos.com.
Hi.
We're going to transition into an ad pivot now.
Do an ad read.
for gazebos. Custom built, all cedar. They're all cedar.
They're
very heavy.
Unbelievably heavy.
It's a problem, actually.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, you leave your phone outside the room.
I try to.
Which I never, ever. The phone stays in the pocket. It's in the pocket right now. If it's not on me, I feel crazy. Yeah, man. That's...
I go through periods of being really good about that and really bad at that. And right now I'm in a period of like being bad at it.
I think that's
check
fair.
my phone all the time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get... I was talking to Noah about this yesterday of just like if I was going to get like an assistant...
Yeah.
Which of course I'm not going to get from an assistant. I would get someone to run my social media just so like I purposefully wouldn't have it on my phone.
Yeah.
Because man, it's so fucking like I find that the more I look at my Instagram, it like noticeably takes away little bits of creativity.
Yes.
Like every time you see that fucking fly? Every time I open my phone and look at Instagram, it like just saps a little bit of energy that could have gone into something else.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate that.
I fully agree with you. I also want to address something that just happened, which is a fly just flew into the shot, and the fly just flew back into the shot. You're thinking about killing that fly right now.
Yeah, dude.
Carter kills flies better than anybody I've ever seen. Yep. Did you get him? Is it... Dude, what? Oh, my God.
Ew. And that's the clip. That's the clip for the podcast.
That's the clip for the podcast. Oh my God! Hold on.
That was fucking sick.
That
was fucking sick. Fuck, dude.
As soon as I saw you see it, I was like, he wants it.
Perfect time for my ad read.
What's your ad? Is it gazebos?
When I was a kid, growing up, this is the ad read. When I was a kid growing up, I was very afraid of horror movies. I didn't like being around them. I didn't like seeing the commercials for them. And then later on, my girlfriend made me see the movie It in theaters. I remember it scared me a lot, and I was probably 21 years old, 22 years old. Frightening movie. But it was I don't like horror movies. And from that, she saw how kind and sensitive I was because I was afraid in the movie It. And she thought to herself, this one's a keeper. And he's gonna do good in the long run. And that's all thanks to the AMC Stubs member, AMC Stubs. If you want to see that movie, what are you doing here? AMC Stubs. That's all. That's the ad read.
It was so much preamble. I had no idea where it was going.
I didn't either. I had no fucking clue.
It's fun, dude. I don't know. Oh, man. That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, they paid $40,000 for this ad.
Dude, I'm not
But
going to lie
in
to you.
Stubs memberships.
I might have ruined that ad. I'm
No.
not gonna lie. You don't think so?
Well, they're going to be mad. You're going to be getting an email from their lawyers.
That's okay, man. That's okay. Wait. What is the Stubs membership?
The Stubs membership. No, this is the real ad. The Stubs membership is I think it's $20 a month,
Okay.
and you can see as many movies as you want.
That's like the price of one movie now.
It's the price of one movie.
That's a great deal.
This is a fucking ad. Yeah, and I actually pay for it, and I actually do use it.
I would like to do that. I literally saw a movie last weekend, and I think it was about that for one ticket. So.
What movie? That was a lie, wasn't it?
No, Air. It was Air. I had to think.
Oh, yeah, you told me
I've got
about
a
that.
terrible memory, but I saw Air. It was great, and you could see
It
it with your
looks good.
AMC Stubs membership.
It looks
if you get
really
it.
good.
It's awesome, man. I'm a big, not a big sneakerhead is the wrong way. I don't have like a collection of sneakers, but
But you're a shoe-enthusiast.
I like to be comfortable. I like saving money on a lot of stuff. Can't save money on shoes. Don't save money on shoes or mattresses.
Save money on the Stubs, AMC Stubs membership.
That's right.
AMC Stubs.
That's good. What a great pivot there.
Yeah, it's fucking. Well, Jordan Air looks really good, but it is about
should be
Jordan.
called Jordan. Honestly, it's a great movie.
It looks good. Is Matt Damon?
It's fun because I feel like it's Matt Damon and I think Ben Affleck. I don't really know, but I think it's like just their friend group made a movie.
Yeah,
you know, and
that's awesome.
it's really good. Oh, Jason Bateman's in it, and he's just excellent.
I love Jason Bateman.
Me too, man. He seems genuinely good.
He seems like a nice
Good
guy,
dude. You know.
but maybe that's just because he plays nice guys.
I know we were talking about this the other
He's
day
the-
at a
he's the-
gig. I don't know how much of it is put on.
It's got to all be put on.
You think so, right?
Well, I mean, like no one. He just like is like such a dad.
Right. I think Bateman's
you know.
a good dude. Don't get me wrong, but like the Tom Hanks image is not accidental. Like his
it's
management
very on purpose.
encourages, and he knows that's his image, and everything he's doing is towards that image. But if you always do things towards being a good person, I think that's like. Is that from when you hit the fly?
I might have been.
That's unbelievable. What a sheer display of force.
Shatters the window. Bang!
Got him. No, I think that's always a thing. Like especially out here, it's like whoever image it is carefully crafted. No one's
Yeah.
image is accidental. You know what I can't stand?
What?
This is something I want to rant about real quick.
Go for it.
I keep seeing stuff on TikTok or on Twitter or on Instagram of like a famous scene from a movie, and people being like, "Oh man, you know, they actually there was no script for this scene. They just improvised it." Oh my God, why would they be running a camera if there was nothing? Do you understand how many times they take the same scene over again? It's infuriating to me. The invalidation of writers that goes on, support the strike, that people think actors make everything up. It infuriates me to no end.
Wait, do you know that it's not improvised? Like, what scene would it be?
Oh, it's
like 12 Angry Men, the entire movie.
A lot of it is The Office, right? Because it's so so fast. A lot of those shows now that are shot with the handheld camera like that, people think, oh, it looks like, Blair Witch. It must be like
Right.
real people. And it's like, it's not a documentary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, these are carefully blocked
Yeah.
scenes.
I mean, I think the whole actor worship thing in general is really weird.
It's strange.
And Sable has a lot of that, and she always tries to tell me
A
like
lot of
drama.
people do.
Oh no, yeah.
My girlfriend too.
Fuck Sable.
A lot of people do, though.
A lot of people do.
I get it. I get it.
don't,
Well, I
dude.
get it insofar as there are actors that I'm like, is it Michael Studenball? Is that his name? Studenball? I can't pronounce his name.
Who was he in?
He was in Dope Sick as the evil guy from the opiate company. He was also in, there's like a good man, a very good man, something like that.
I don't know this.
Talk to Sable about him because we've talked about him before, but Michael Studenball, I believe is his name. Phenomenal actor. The kind of guy, and Steve Carell I'll put in this camp too. I'll see anything he's in.
I'm gonna look him up.
I'm just excited just when I see that he's in something, I'm like, let's go to see that.
Michael.
Because I can't even pronounce it or spell. No, S-T-U.
Stuhlbarg?
Maybe. That's the one. Him. Phenomenal.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Well, I didn't say.
I have never seen this guy in my life.
Well, yeah, he's not in the Marvel movies.
He's not even in fucking Iron Man? Dude, this guy doesn't look like Captain America at all.
Yeah, you would not.
That's
make
weird.
a good
I don't
Captain
know
America.
him.
No, he's.
Why don't I know
phenomenal.
him?
See some of his movies with Sable. I mean, he's really good.
He's in Boardwalk Empire. Okay.
Oh, really? You
He's
watched
in
that?
Gladiator? What? No, that's fucking Joaquin Phoenix.
Good point.
He just looks like Joaquin Phoenix.
He does look a little like Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay.
You seen that Letterman
This guy's
interview with
not
Joaquin
fucking
Phoenix?
real. No, what's this?
Okay, so there's like a famous interview where Letterman had on Joaquin Phoenix, and Joaquin Phoenix was in character as this. He was playing a rock star who was past his prime and was like a dick to everybody. And the thing is, he was in character for the Letterman interview, but Letterman didn't know because, you know, he's a method actor.
Jesus
And he had shades on and was just such a dick to him. And Letterman was kind of graceful about all of it. Like, he was making jokes, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, Joaquin Phoenix, we would have loved to have you here tonight. You know?
Really?
Yeah, man, he was getting, like, kind of cagey at the end, but it was still, like, as talk shows go, you know.
That's... I don't fucking understand.
I know.
Like, the whole idea of, like, oh, it's a method actor.
I
Like,
know.
your job is pretending, dude. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, I'm
know.
sorry. I'm pretending this month. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? I don't sing everything I say. Just do your job and then go home.
That's a really good point. If someone was like, no, I have to sing everything I do for a month.
I'm a singer. I only sing. I can't fucking talk.
Oh,
That's
my
so
God.
obnoxious.
Oh, my God.
Oh, if I met someone and they were a method actor...
I think it's fair. Well, no, that's a good point. If you are coming out to happy hour with me in 2023 and acting like you're Abraham Lincoln, I'm going to have an issue with it.
Yeah. You know, Daniel Day-Lewis?
Oh, he's
Is that who you're
phenomenal.
talking-
Well, I mean, he's the ultimate,
so good.
isn't he? The ultimate. Yeah, he's
He is the
phenomenal.
ultimate,
But
yeah.
yeah, they you know, that, you know, if I'm like, oh my God, I saw this on BuzzFeed this morning. Like, what is a BuzzFeed? I haven't heard back from the troops.
The bees.
Like, it's not. No, you can't hang anymore. I'm sorry.
I don't. That's why I don't know if I know any other than Jay. Jay acts,
J-Ax, yeah.
but I don't think he would be a method actor.
No, we know plenty of actors that.
Do we know
that-
plenty?
Well, I mean, I used to go to high school with a bunch of actors, and then also I feel like I met a couple in L.A. Just especially people that double doing like vocals in corporate stuff, and then also like, acting, and like they're lovely people, man. You know, they're not.
That's a big
I
generalization.
think well.
That's a huge generalization.
point. That's a good
Actors
point.
are good. Like,
Well, okay,
fuck.
all right. The people I've met have been good, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's like it's also like I think you have to get to a certain level of intolerably famous
To be a
like
nightmare.
Jared Leto tried to do method acting for the Joker, and it's just such a prime example of like a guy that would try method acting.
I know.
Jared Leto is top of that list.
Yeah, so fucking silly.
It is pretty silly.
And
and
also for the movie The Joker.
and he did a bad job,
Yeah.
from what I understand.
Oh,
I didn't see
it was
I
for
don't know.
Suicide Squad.
It was right. He was like, I'm gonna like mail dead rats to Margot Robbie, and everyone's like, why are you being
Yeah.
a dick? And then it was bad anyways.
Yeah, dude, have you seen that movie?
No.
It was truly one of the worst things I've ever seen, and I was like, how did they do this? Like, really? Like the entire movie, I was like,
I thought there was a bunch of hype around that movie.
the second one,
Oh, okay.
because they remade it with John Cena, and I think Idris Elba was in the second one. They remade it, and the second one was fucking awesome.
I believe that.
But yeah, the first one was horrendous.
That's so crazy because I remember there was such a buzz about it, and the soundtrack. There was a bunch of shit that was like on the soundtrack that was like trending that summer, whatever it was. They all come out in the summer now, huh? All
Yeah,
those
pretty
big
much
movies.
all important movies.
Yeah, I don't really know. No, I still got to see Banshees of.
You haven't seen Banshees?
No, I haven't seen Banshees.
Banshees is
Gotta
one of
see
the
Banshees.
best movies I've ever seen.
Movies are great, man. I do think we're kind of living in a golden age of movies and television.
Probably.
But I think it also means probably people are being paid less than ever before
Yeah.
for that stuff because there's so many coming out.
This is kind of the like 2008 housing crisis of movies.
This is the post 9/11 sushi
Yeah. Yep.
yeah. Well, I fully agree.
Suicide Squad 1 was the 9/11 to our 2008 housing crisis of movies.
You know, I suppose it was. I'll have to see it.
and that's
then.
called Full Circle.
I guess it is. Full circle.
Um,
Oh my gosh.
so we do need to talk about a little bit of music stuff.
Do we?
I think just a little bit.
Responsibly.
Yeah, I don't think I can get away from talking about a little bit of music stuff. So you've told me what you're working on. You're working on a bunch of really great stuff. Is there any music right now that you're listening to that is exciting you?
Oh man, that's a great question. I want to say I dodged the other one too pretty hard. I talked mainly about the creative process, but
That's cool.
I think in the spirit of answering a question head on, I'll give 2 albums. One is an old one that I've been listening to for a long time. One's a new one. Ben Howard's "I Forgot Where We Were." It's his second album. It is not very played. His first one was "Every Kingdom." That's got all like the biggest hits that he ever did. That came out, I think, like 2011 or something. And you just know the label's like, all right, you got to get back in the studio and make another one. And I bet money he was depressed because he made the best second record I've ever heard. And
Really?
What's amazing is no one likes it. I love it.
Is it all super sad music?
It's not.
It's all super sad.
You would think it's super sad.
Yeah.
Carter and I have long had a debate because I love like Bon Iver stuff. I love For Emma, that kind of stuff. I'm a sad boy a little bit. I got a little bit.
Definitely.
I love Pine Grove. I love the kind of I don't know. It doesn't need to be a banger for me to really enjoy it. In fact, it's an asset if it makes me feel devastated. Like what's that? Jonathan by is it Adrian Lenker? Adrian Lenker, you know what I'm talking from Big Thief.
Yeah, I know. But you're not talking about
That song.
Indiana?
Oh, Indiana too. Anything off
Which
A-sides.
one's Jonathan?
John, listen up, I'm a mess.
Oh.
This is not. Yeah.
That was a great song. I
Dude,
liked that a lot.
She's amazing. So either way, I got off track again. The old record, which I've been listening to probably now 8-9 years because I used to listen to that in Connecticut before I left for college. I remember that. Evergreen and I Forgot Where We Were are the 2 best songs on that record, and they're unbelievable. And then beyond that, this one's more nerdy, but the newer one is Brad Mehldau, who is the greatest living pianist. I will die on that hill. Unbelievable, Carter.
Brad Mehldau.
Brad Mehldau is a god among men. He does things with a piano I've never heard someone do, and that instrument is so old.
I have still yet to, I think, ever hear anything he's ever done, and you've been talking about him for the last 5 years.
I've played Mehldau around you for sure.
Have you?
We've been on road trips where I've played Mehldau.
Maybe.
I've played entirety of Mehldau albums. Actually, I played Highway Rider.
Is that his?
You look enthused. Yes.
Oh, that song that's like, riding down the highway. That's Brad Mehldau. Keep on going hard. Nothing but the pavement. He was in Kansas. He was in Kansas?
Yeah, that's Brad Mehldau, the pianist. Yeah,
that sounds good.
It does sound good. The record's called "Your Mother Should Know," and it's all Beatles covers.
Oh, that's
filmed
cool.
live in Paris at the Philharmonic Hall, and it's just him. And by the way, what would you wear if you had a solo performance at the Philharmonic Hall in Paris?
All black and a suit, probably a suit.
All black and a suit, right? That's safe. Tuxedo, maybe,
Yeah.
because it's a big old classical hall. He wore a flannel and like Chelsea boots that
Cool.
were like Blundstone, like not like fancy.
That's cool.
It was sick. I didn't know that until I saw the video, and I was like,
dang.
I like that more. Like being so good, you can show up in a flannel.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. Why is it called Your Mother Should Know? If it's all
That's a
Beatles
Beatles song, but I think it's also kind of tongue in cheek because it's like that's a Beatles song. It's kind of a deep cut, and that's what he was trying to do on this. Was not just like he has like a bunch of different recordings of Blackbird. Blackbird's not on this one.
Oh,
you
interesting.
can go to other records of his to hear Blackbird. This is like he does a cover of Here, There, and Everywhere.
Oh, I don't know that song.
It's
either.
quoted in White Ferrari. Spending each day of the year. That's from a Beatles song.
by
I don't think you also know White Ferrari.
by
I love Frank Ocean.
White Ferrari by Kansas.
By
Also, White Ferrari. What's this? What's that? What's it? I was trying to make. What I was trying to think of that entire time was what's that jingle for avocados that you always think that I always think is a Frank Ocean song.
Is it Avocados from Mexico?
It sounds like it's in White Ferrari.
I think
doesn't it?
There'd be a great. It kind of does.
Every night fucks every day.
Because what it was
from Mexico.
I've always thought that it should be like avocados from Mexico, avocados from Mexico, avocados from Mexico. Like slowed down progressively. I don't know
It's
why.
more menacing.
Yeah, I think that'd make a great sound.
I think it'd make a great sound in a horrible commercial.
Yeah.
Jesus
scary
Christ.
commercials. But I'm about scary commercials.
Yep.
Yep.
Fear is what sells avocados nowadays. In this 2008 avocado crisis, And what do you think about
Kansas.
What do you think about the band Kansas? No, you mentioned something about Pine Grove breaking up. Yeah. That was like a pretty big band for us for a long time.
We love Pine Grove, man. We love Pine Grove. That
kind of crazy that they're ending.
It is kind of crazy. I guess like it's weird to think about bands breaking up because I think the expectation there's sort of like this thing I think where everybody who's famous was famous before 2008 now, like in a certain way. And I'm not talking about like Timothy Chalamet, but what I mean is like
2008.
We're talking yeah, what happened in 2008? Could you go over that? That's the
one more time.
It's
like the famous people that are famous now feel a little less.
There was this thing about I heard about on some other. I agree with less intentional, and it's almost more like disparate.
Yeah,
like different groups have different people that are super famous to them, but there's this idea of like the monoculture has like kind of dissipated because of the internet, right?
Yeah.
So like there aren't like a couple TV stations basically being like, and these are the famous people. Like now even things like the Met Gala feel a little bit like, kind of cares.
Yeah.
Like we have so many different channels for, fashion or influence of that nature. It's kind of like there's not one event that dictates things anymore.
It's like you see like who's on the like Tonight Show and stuff. And it's like 90% of the people now I'm like, I don't know who that fucking person is.
And like Ariana Grande could go on the Tonight Show and have an interview and people wouldn't really care. But like Ariana Grande could go on Twitter or Instagram and say something crazy on a video and everybody would care.
Right.
So I think it's just like everything's more disparate. But even those we're naming like very serious people. I guess the point is what I think of as famous bands are bands that have been famous since before 2008. So in a lot of ways, like, like even like the Rolling Stones are still going, or someone like John Mayer, right? Like these groups of musicians, I guess that's one guy, but you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to think of other, like I guess the Eagles are still touring in a certain capacity.
They are?
Well, I think it's not all the full band. I might be picking only bands that aren't touring right now, but I'm trying to think of like.
No, but I think you're right. It's like, you can't make, or I think it's harder to, we've had a similar conversation before, but I think it's harder to be a massive star now,
right.
But it's easier to be a mid-tier star.
In your own vein, your own area.
You can have your own lane, like I don't think was really as easy in the past.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But like so my entire idea of what a band does is based upon bands from like the 70s and 80s that are still touring today, where it's like, well, you have a band and then you play for 70 years.
Right.
And it's like, no, like a lot of bands don't, especially bands that, today, like I think Pine Grove, like they were like top of the indie game, but the indie game still is not like something where it's like, and I'll retire now. Like it's a job like anything else. And so I definitely see if it's like you're having kids, you don't want to tour all the time.
And also there was like 8 people in that fucking band.
I think they toured with 5. I could be wrong.
Maybe 5. But man, still like splitting it 5 ways.
Yeah.
It's like, and you're trying to, settle down at some point. You're trying to like have a family.
Kids, that's a big one, man. That's a big one.
I have no idea if that's what they're
I know
looking
the
for,
drummer, Zach
Attack for You.
Zach Attack for You is still doing remote work, man. And if I ever started doing well in the lo-fi sphere or something,
You'd hire him?
I would fund him to do some of my own stuff for sure.
Really?
Oh my God, yeah, man. The drummer from Pine Grove. Are you kidding?
Interesting.
He's phenomenal.
I wonder how much he charges.
I don't know. I'm interested. Yeah, we know like Aaron Sterling's rate and whatnot. Like, it's
how much does Aaron Sterling charge?
You want me to put his business on the street? I guess it's you could always inquire, I guess. But I've heard 500 per song.
For one of the greatest drummers in the whole wide world, that's not that bad.
But he also does probably 3 to 6 a day, so it's like, okay,
Yeah.
He's probably gonna spend like an hour on your song. But also, it's Aaron Sterling. It's gonna be right.
It's gonna be
Dude,
fantastic.
I looked up Pino Palladino on a playlist today. I love Pino. Everyone knows when you think of Pino Palladino. I'm not sure everyone knows Pino. Actually,
I know who. I think most of all like just musicians, he's pretty up there.
He's a bassist, right? And I was like, oh man, I've never like searched Pino Palladino as a playlist, like best bass lines of Pino Palladino. This dude was playing on stuff I didn't even know he was on.
Really? What kind of stuff?
Let me get it up. He played on I Wish It Would Rain Down by Phil Collins. That fucked me up because that was like a huge song for me.
Really? I don't know that song.
I love it.
And I think you made it up. I don't know it and I don't like it.
I do love lying. Here we go. It's
Let's see.
So Wherever I Lay My Hat is his famous one, but okay, he's obviously on the John Mayer stuff. He's also
you're flying through these, dude.
He's on Nikita by Elton John. Waiting on the World to Change, John Mayer. Gravity, John Mayer. Vultures, John Mayer. Stop This Train. Everyone knows he plays with John Mayer. That makes sense. But
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins. Big old
Don Henley, yeah. D'Angelo, obviously.
All the D'Angelo stuff. Those
Paul
ones
Simon,
are obvious.
jeez, yeah, he's got the hits.
Paul Simon.
Alicia Keys, CeeLo Green.
Yeah, he's on "Forget You" by CeeLo Green. He played on "Rolling in the Deep" by Adele.
Jesus,
are you
Christ.
kidding me?
Yeah, that guy's doing well. That guy's doing okay.
I'm like, dude, these are like some of the biggest songs of all time. "Heartbreak Warfare,"
Adele,
"One and Only" by Adele.
Jiminy Christmas.
He also played on the new Harry Styles record, which I didn't know.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
Katy Perry.
New Light, obviously. Oh, this one, Paolo Nutini was fantastic. Kind of a flash in the pan. I don't really know what happened to him, but
Tears for Fears? What the fuck?
you played on Tears for Fears? Golly, dude, this is what I'm talking about.
Tears for Fears, Woman in Chains.
If you got a musician that you like, look up best of them on a playlist, and not the Spotify playlist either. Like people make playlists.
Look up Best of Carter Vail.
Best of Carter Vail. What I meant to say. This goes to our next ad break.
Yeah, go do an ad read.
Yeah, for Carter Vail.
Or for anything.
You just put the mic down. Oh no. If you're in the forest and you can't get up high enough, you don't need a carabiner. You need Carter's gazebos. You can climb on top of one of those bad boys and just straddle up a little tree like a little monkey. Yeah. Be real cute, get up on top, and then you can see further, and that's important too, because reconnaissance, as we always say, is the backbone of any economy.
It's a recon-based economy.
It's a recon-based economy.
Reconomy, ricotta cheese. It's an ad for ricotta cheese. Well...
Oh my God.
I think that's good stuff, Andre.
I think so too, man.
I think you did great, and I think we should do this again sometime.
Wow.
Do
Excellent.
you have anything else to plug? Anything to say?
No, I don't have anything to plug. This has been a phenomenal time, and thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah, no problem. I told Universal Audio that this is going to be a music podcast, and I don't think it's going to be a music podcast.
Let them, if you're listening, we love your product.
Yeah, Universal Audio.
Products.
I'm going to have to cut that. Universal Audio.
Leave it in.
Fucking awesome stuff. Thank you guys for listening. This has been the Interstellar Tennis Championship. And yeah, that's it, I think.
Yes, indeed.
Andre Bernier, at Andre Bernier Music. Andre Bernier on Spotify. The Tea Shop, also on Spotify for his lo-fi project.
True. Yeah.
And yeah. Have a good one, folks.
The Interstellar